after our short break. We now have Judith Slater, Magistrate Consul General in Turkey and the HM Trade Commissioner for Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Judith's going to talk about opportunities to invest in UK, which I'm sure are considerable and will attract a lot of attention. So I'm not going to take any more of the time and hand over to Judith, and let's get started. Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Chris, and good morning from beautiful, sunny Istanbul, where, as Chris mentioned, it's my privilege to be the British Consul General. I've been here for 4 years now, and I'm also the Trade Commissioner for the broader region, but Turkey is the most important market in that region, so I spend most of my time focusing on Turkey, and I'm really pleased that during my time here, I've been here for 4 years now, certainly in terms of the way that we calculate the trade figures anyway, we have actually passed the milestone of $20 billion of annual trade between the UK and Turkey. I know the ambassador just referred to us being a little bit short of that figure, but we in Turkey calculate our trade figures in a slightly different way, but we're all agreed that we're doing pretty well. That's the key thing. The UK is Turkey's second biggest export market, and Turkey's a really important trading partner for the UK too. The UK's latest trade figures put bilateral trade at around £19 billion, so it really is doing extremely well. But both governments continue to focus on investment, and I know we're focusing on that today, as one of the two key strands of the relationship to focus on, alongside opportunities for collaboration in other countries together in third markets, as we call it, and the ambassador also just mentioned that too. The decision to focus on these things wasn't an accident. We want to work to promote investments in each other's markets, and we're supporting, by doing this, the creation of jobs and growth, and we want to deepen the supply chain links between us, which are already strong, and benefit from the strengths and diversity of our two economies. So the UK's institutional stability and our entrepreneurial and creative skills, along with our innovative R&D environment and the flexibility of our talent base, all of these things continue to support our position as a safe haven for new and existing investments. We're ranked in the top 10 of the World's Economic Forum Global Competitiveness Index, and we rose up to 4th place in the World Intellectual Property Organization's Global Innovation Index. And we are still the top destination for investment in Europe. And last year we saw more growth in venture capital from any country in the world. So at the moment, we are in a time of a lot of change, as Chris mentioned when he was speaking a little bit earlier. And we're keen to find opportunities from this change in the global economy to accentuate the positives. And we're determined that the UK will have the sort of world-class infrastructure it needs to embrace the emerging trends that are changing the way we live and work, from the home working revolution, which was going on, the working from home, the flexibility, which was already happening actually to some degree before COVID-19, and the search for greater economic resilience and shorter supply chains, as well as the quest for clean and green growth. And of course, these trends are all being accelerated by COVID-19. The British government is placing research and development right at the heart of our plans to create a more efficient and effective economy, and with public investments in R&D set to rise to £22 billion by 2024-25. We're also investing a lot in a cleaner and greener and more sustainable economy as we get ready to host the COP26, the climate change conference, which we were hoping to do this year, but it's now been postponed to next year because of COVID-19. But that will involve us spending £500 million on supporting the rollout of a super-fast electric vehicle, for example, and also another £500 million on extending plug-in grant schemes for ultra-low emission vehicles. So that's an example of the sort of things that we're doing. In the UK, we've got a reach that stretches far beyond the frontiers of the UK to every business sector, every business capital in the world. And my team here in our region and similar teams around the world help with that, and as well as the private sector, who is there in force. Our open and flexible approach to business provides fertile ground for growth and expansion, with British businesses the driving force behind major advances in every sector, but in particular technology and creative, I would mention. And the wide-ranging expertise we have makes us a global magnet for talent. We've got 4 of the world's top 10 universities are based in the UK, as well as the highly skilled workforce, and we have a diverse pool of talent. We're 3rd in the world for inward FDI stock, just behind the US and China, and we remain a great destination. UK consumers as well are very early adopters of new technology, moving from online to mobile, driven by the use of cloud computing, big data analytics, artificial intelligence. And Chris was talking about online shopping. The UK was already at the forefront of online shopping, and that has, of course, grown enormously since the onset of the COVID pandemic. We're really also very pleased that we've been able to help a growing number of Turkish investors realise their ambitions through strategic investments in the UK, again, particularly in the technology sector. And the UK offers investors the lowest corporation tax in the G20 at 19%, competitive research and development tax relief, and an increased focus on innovation because of the government's industrial strategy. So to mention, I'd like to talk a little bit about the recent successes that we've had with attracting Turkish investors to come to the UK. So last year, the team here in Turkey, which is only 4.5 people, so when I say half a person, that person's also doing other things, but we supported 47 investors to establish their operations in the UK, creating around 600 new jobs. So just to mention 5 of these to give you some flavour of what they're about. Let's talk about Pimsa Automotive, who make bodies and coachwork for the automotive industry. They set up their European headquarters and manufacturing plant in Coventry with an investment of £10 million, and they're going to be creating nearly 90 new jobs. Enka Inşaat has chosen London for their global headquarters and will oversee their global projects and structured funding from UK Export Finance, and they'll do that from the UK. Then there's Insider, a successful technology platform for digital client acquisition tool powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. They've established their global HQ in London. Another company in a different sector, Smart Yarn, a textile company, have set up their operations in the Manchester area and have invested around £3 million so far, producing propylene, and they're expected to create around 80 new jobs. And finally, e-tron is a tech company developing intelligent software for electric vehicles and mobility. And they've moved their headquarters to Warwick and established a research centre there. We're also very optimistic about 2 really big projects, each one exceeding £250 million worth of investment, and each creating around 300 jobs. These are in the pipeline. One is a glass bottling manufacturing plant, and the other is similar for tissue paper. We can't give the names of these investors yet for confidentiality reasons, but we're working with these companies and looking forward to those investments and looking forward to being able to talk more about them when they happen. We're also seeing some conglomerates considering carrying their global headquarters to London. And in the last 3 months, just to mention a couple of investments, not from Turkey, but to also give a flavour of how the UK is this investment magnet that I've mentioned. British sports car manufacturer Lotus is opening a new factory in Norwich, creating 125 jobs. French parcel delivery company DPD have announced plans to create 6,000 jobs in the UK and invest £200 million this year to expand their capacity in response to the unprecedented boom in online shopping that we've already talked about, which has been created by COVID-19. US pharmaceutical company Merck trading in Europe as MSD, have selected a site for its £1 billion state-of-the-art Discovery Research Centre and UK headquarters in Camden, right in central London. And this facility is looking to employ 800 people. And finally, US-based Silicon Valley Bank is converting its UK branch into a full subsidiary in anticipation of finding tech investment opportunities for private equity firms. And the bank's on track to increase its headcount in Britain from 250 at the start of this year to 330 by the end of the year. So that's some really, really positive examples. Obviously, over the past 6 months, the world has completely shifted from what was the old normal to the new COVID-19 reality. And in our view, only countries which are able to adapt to the impacts of this crisis will thrive, and as we've seen from these examples above. So we're attaching even more importance to foreign investment than we were before, even though this has already and always actually been an important ingredient of our economic growth. And Ambassador Yalcin referred to opportunities to partner with Turkish firms, and we're really, of course, very, very keen to do this. A fundamental part of this work has been developing a new UK investment strategy, focusing on our responses to changes in global demand and prioritising what we think of as our most investable sectors. We're running what we call an investor lens over all the government's investment work, so that we really understand what investors want, need, and work to remove any unnecessary constraints on this. This presents huge opportunities, obviously, and particularly, as I've already said, within the tech sector, where we see most of the investment coming from Turkey. Many of you here, I hope, will be looking to expand your business, and the UK, I want to reassure you, is the right place to be. We've been really successful, as mentioned, at securing Turkish investment, and we think we have what we think of as the 3 key elements, which are this large tech-literate market of early adopters. We have some of the brightest and best tech talent, and we have access to finance for ambitious companies via the world's leading finance centre, most diverse as well. So the government's ambitious modern industrial strategy, which sets out a long-term plan to boost productivity and earning power of people throughout the UK, is key to all of this. And that strategy, to remind you, identifies 4 what we call grand challenges. The first one being artificial intelligence, the second being the future of mobility, the third being clean growth, and the 4th, ageing society. So there are opportunities for companies to work in partnership with the UK in each of these exciting and fast-growing areas. So before closing, I should just say a word or two about the UK's Internal Market Bill and Northern Ireland. As you may well, if you follow the UK news, have seen a lot of noise about this on the TV and in the press in recent days. So the first thing to stress in regard to the UK-EU negotiations is that the UK's priority is to ensure that we restore the UK's economic and political independence on the 1st of January 2021. This is the government's primary objective. So on the internal market and Northern Ireland, the government, in summary, will be introducing limited and reasonable steps to create a safety net that removes any ambiguity and ensures that the government is always able to deliver on its commitments to the people of Northern Ireland. These steps are fully in keeping with what the government has constantly said and what was promised in their manifesto. They will continue to work with the EU as they implement the protocol. But the key messages are that the government is fully committed to implementing the withdrawal agreement and the Northern Ireland Protocol and has already taken practical steps to do so. However, some of the provisions of the Northern Ireland Protocol are broad brush or ambiguous, and some were explicitly left to be sorted out in further discussion between the UK and the EU in the Joint Committee already underway. So the government considers it vital that the gains from the Northern Ireland peace process are protected, and they are continuing to foster economic growth as a key part of building a shared and stable future and maintaining trust and faith in the Good Friday Agreement. And this will be even more important as Northern Ireland works to recover from the global impact of COVID-19. It's vital to ensure that Northern Ireland doesn't face new barriers and that the government will do everything it can to ensure the protocol strengthens rather than hinders the Northern Ireland economy. I just thought it was worth just saying a little bit about that. I also want to emphasise the really, really good constructive work that is already going on and has been for a long time now on the UK-Turkey Free Trade Agreement, which the Ambassador mentioned and Chris also mentioned. We've had 10 formal working group meetings. We've had plenty of intersessional technical meetings, and we are confident of concluding the agreement. There are dependencies on the UK-EU talks, obviously, due to Turkey's customs union membership, but we're getting as much of the agreement ready as we can, and we'll be ready to move fast to get the necessary remaining pieces of that jigsaw in place once we have clarity on the shape of the UK-EU agreement, or alternatively, if we're in an Australia-style scenario. So I'm really glad that Ambassador Yalcin had such a positive meeting with Ranil Jayawardena, our trade policy minister, just the other day. So just in summary, to conclude, to emphasise, the UK offers a really good place for you to invest. It's a welcoming, open, international business hub. We have global connections, offering investors the opportunity for accelerated growth. We're the 6th largest economy in the world. We have proven multi-sector infrastructure alongside a significant domestic market with long-term potential. We're a home to world-class talent and skills and education system. And we have a range of investment hubs up and down the country with clusters for investment, as I hope was clear from the list that I read out about where Turkish companies have chosen to invest. It isn't all about London. There are several, and many actually, other places to invest, depending on exactly what it is you want and what sector you're operating in. So in conclusion, please do come and speak to DIT Turkey, to our investment team, who would only be too delighted to tell you more and to help you on your journey. We've got this dedicated team, and Zeynep Öztekbaş, who is heading the team and will be familiar to many of you and will be participating in the panel in just a few minutes. Her team helps Turkish companies to establish their operations and has a really, really good track record of doing that and providing this confidential, free service for you. So I want to wish all of you the very best of luck as you go on this journey, and we stand ready to work with you, as does the British Chamber, who we work with very, very closely. So thanks for inviting me to speak. It's been very enjoyable, and I look forward to participating as much as I can of the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your speech. Thanks for supporting us as well. Thank you.
Pleasure.